Welcome to Deep Thought. Sometimes the person doesn't match the image. Sometimes the person doesn't match the image. Now, I'm going to tell you what. And notice I said sometimes. And these are actually more exceptions to the rule, because one of the things I've taught, I don't teach it publicly, but I teach how to read. For men, I teach them how to read women. I teach them how to read women. If there's enough of a demand, I can teach women how to read men. Because the average person, the image they show on the outside matches what's inside. Because whatever's inside, just how they wear their hair, how they wear their clothes, even their body builds. You can look at them and get a very general, I'm going to emphasize the word general, idea what's going on with them. I would say probably you get an 80% idea what's going on with them just from their outer appearance. And that's with some skill, that's with learning, and indeed in some cultures they actually have some science for it. Or, well, I ain't gonna say science, but they have systems where they can do that. They can say, okay, this person has, their face is a certain way, their body builds a certain way. And this is particularly something that they would have in in Asian cultures. This is something, and sometimes you might have somebody who's just very observant going through life, and they'll say, oh yeah, this person behaved this way, this person behaved this way, right? And you can tell, like, just from how they dress, you can get an idea about their sexual nature. And I've talked about that publicly and also, on other sites. For example, when, people wear their clothes either as a magnet or a shield. When they wear, when you have a woman wearing like push-up bras and, tight jeans and heels and everything, that's showing her lovely shape. She's wearing her clothes as a magnet to draw your attention. But when she's wearing it very loose, and you can't really tell her body shape, or, it is not as tight, she's wearing her clothing as a shield. And men do the same thing. And then, you can actually get an idea about someone's social class just basically through just how they wear their hair. And, if they have hair, beard, tattoos, stuff like that. Now, those are very general. But here's a reality. There's always that 20%. There's always that 20%. Sometimes the image doesn't match. The person doesn't match the image. And that's just a reality. That's the end, because at the end of the day, even when you think you have a general idea about somebody, you still need to communicate with them. You might find something different, right? Like I'm gonna use myself for an example. I actually had a young man, and he might not follow this channel. I know he follows my other channel, right? Now I've known him in person. I never forget. He was honest with me. He said, Rom, you look like a thug. You look like a thug until you open your mouth. Right? And, I just laughed about it because I've gotten that all my life. I'm just going to be real with you. Seriously, I've had so many people say I looked a certain way. I mean, I remember when my freshman year in college, I found out the hard way. A lot of people thought I was crazy. These have became lifelong friends, but they just told me, he said, Rom, you look a little crazy. All right, but then my thing is people find out, oh, wait, this dude's very intelligent. I would shock people. But that's me. That's me. Right? But that could be anybody. Like, I remember I rented and then later bought a condo from this guy, right? We were renting from it. Me and my wife were renting from him, and then he wanted to sell it, and we just bought it. But one thing that struck me about him, he was a doctor, but he was tatted up like a biker. He was tatted up like a biker, but if you're a doctor, come on, And, my point with this is, yes, you can get an idea, but you still have to get to know that person, because that's unfortunately a basis for like prejudice, discrimination, negative thoughts. Will look at somebody and think they're a certain way. All you can do is get an idea. Even the teaching I do on reading someone, I've said that just gives you an idea. You still have to communicate with them, right? Like, let's use the relationship angle for a lot, right? Let's use the relationship angle. A lot of times somebody miss out on somebody because they didn't look a certain way, or they thought they were this or that, right? But then they get a chance to talk with them, and then they're just totally surprised and blown away, right? And the thing is, it's just investigate, right? You just really never know, But, some depending on the situation, you might have to make a quick read. And unfortunately, you have to go with it. If you're walking down the street and you see somebody walking towards you menacingly, you don't know if he's going to break out some pamphlet and say, hey, you need to go worship your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Now, the smart thing might be to do is walk across the street, cross the street or something. You just never know. But just the reality, and I would say this, even if you reading somebody, you get an idea, say, oh yeah, this person looks like they in that class and all of that, right? Don't immediately treat them that way until they confirm everything. And I just hate to say that, because the reality is a lot of people have been on the negative end of someone really prejudging them. And there's a difference between reading and prejudging them. When you're reading them and you're looking at it, it's just giving you an idea. Notice I said idea. It could give you a very good idea, but there's still a factor there that you don't know. And you never know who this person could be. And you never know what they might bring to your world. You don't know what they might do. I mean, you could be looking for a job, and this person might own a business or something, or they might be very nice, And I've actually seen that. I'm gonna tell you what, I've seen some people, and you look at them, and it's like they look rough, tough, but they the kindest people. And then you look at some people, they look like angels, and they might be demonic. Indeed, people who follow me a long time, and I think I even mentioned on here, I've talked about demon lovers. Demon lovers, and the common thing with demon lovers is they look innocent. Like, I know this guy, and he was dealing with this woman, right? And if you saw the woman, she was very pretty, look innocent, she didn't look rough at all. Oh, she was a hellion. She did some stuff that, let's put it like this, he had to call the police. He had to call the police, all right? And that's just to say, you know what, no matter what, even if you read them, even something I do, like I said, I be reading a lot into body type and clothing and everything. But even then, I still say, let me get to know that person. Let me get to know that person, because there's always that X factor, right? So that's just the reality. Sometimes the person doesn't match the image. All right? So anyway, want y'all to think on that. Get with y'all later. Peace and blessings.